As nuts as was Richard Nixon, his instincts told him to pretend to go along with the jokes, at least to start, and thus was born the 5-second cameo on George Slatter's Laugh-In just before the 1968 election. Our #1 story in the countdown, comedy and Sarah Palin. If you don't have a sense of humor about yourself, fake it, or you'll end up like the governor, separating herself from the only thing that justified taking her even slightly seriously. And again tonight we turn to this political relic. As I said last October, this is the original cue card for the governor's first bit the night she was on Saturday Night Live. We don't know if she chose not to say this or if it was cut for time or somebody at SNL changed her first line to, I just didn't think it was a realistic depiction of the way my press conferences would have gone. The original script reads, as you see here, I do like her impression of me. Imagine what that would have done for the public's impression of her, laughing along, or at least pretending to, as Tina Fey doppelgangered her.
Every morning when Alaskans wake up, one of the first things they do is look outside to see if there are any Russians hanging around. If there are, you got to go up to them and ask, what are you doing here? And if they can give you a good reason, they can't, then it's our responsibility to say, you know, shoo, get back over there.
You compare your road to the White House to my road to the White House. I scratched and clawed through mud and barbed wire, and you just glided in on a dog sled.
I would now like to give each of you a chance to make a closing statement.
Or are we not doing the talent portion? To entertain everybody with some fancy pageant walking.
All the marrieds in the house, put your hands up. All the marrieds in the house, put your hands up. All the plumbers in the house, put your hands up. All the plumbers in the house, put your hands up. McCain, Palin, gonna put the nail in the coffin of the media elite. She likes red meat, shoot a mother humping loose 8 days of the week.
Final days of any election are the most essential. This past Wednesday, Barack Obama purchased airtime on 3 major networks. We, however, can only afford QVC.
These campaigns sure are expensive.
They sure are.
Why not do your holiday shopping with us? Okay, listen up, everybody. I'm going rogue right now, so keep your voices down. Available now. We got a bunch of these t-shirts. Just try and wait until after Tuesday to wear them, okay?
It was noted by her fawning biographer, John Ziegler, that he once showed her a picture of me, and she replied with a shriek and the announcement, he's evil. Which is ironic on many levels because the intersection between Sarah Palin and caricatures of Sarah Palin began with her brief pursuit of her original dream job, ESPN Sports Center. I used to do that job.
Now, Sarah, Heath is here with sports, other news besides Iditarod, right?
Right, there was some good college basketball today. I'm going to show you highlights. I'll tell you all about that next. See right there.
She's exactly who I need. She's exactly who this country needs.
Senator, I am honored to be chosen as your running mate.
Who in the heck is she? The 20-month veteran? The 2-term mayor of Wasilla, Alaska, population 9,236? The governor who was for the bridge to nowhere before she was against it?
I told Congress thanks, but no thanks on that bridge to nowhere.
By the way, as of tomorrow, every time Senator Palin repeats one of her standard lies, I will donate $100 to charity.
I did tell Congress thanks, but no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
And so the check to the Alaska Special Olympics is in the amount of $3,700.
And the next Vice President of the United States, Sarah Palin.
I love those hockey moms. You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
People who like this sort of thing will find this the sort of thing they like.
Don't you think we made the right choice for the next Vice President of the United States?
They went to an anti-Palin rally and a hockey game broke out. The Sarah Palin interview.
And the Iraq everywhere, like such as.
I'm sorry, wrong tape.
Do you agree with the Bush doctrine?
In what respect, Charlie?
The Bush, what do you interpret it to be?
his worldview.
All political gas will now, by necessity, have to be put in historical context. BP or AP?
You know, is he going to do this and just...
Before Palin or after Palin?
You can even play Stump the Candidate if you want to.
What other Supreme Court decisions do you disagree with?
Well, let's see. There's... Of course, in the great history of America, there have been rulings that there's never going to be absolute consensus by every American.
Governor, are you a feminist?
I'm not going to label myself anything, Brian.
Do you consider yourself a feminist?
I do. Our next-door neighbors are foreign countries. They're in the state that I am the executive of. Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America. Where do they go? It's Alaska. It's just right over the border.
What newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the world?
I read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
Like what one specifically, I'm curious that you...
all of them.
I'm just going to ask you one more time, not to belabor the point, specific examples in his 26 years of pushing for more regulation.
I'll try to find you some and I'll bring them to you.
And now it belongs to the ages.
Hey, can I call you Joe?
Palin v. Biden, and that was not a Supreme Court verdict.
I may not answer the questions the way that either the moderator you want to hear. Say it ain't so, Joe. Barack Obama and Senator Biden. Drill, baby, drill. Nuclear, clean, green, natural gas. Team of mavericks. Maverick. What do you expect? A team of mavericks. And that's what John McCain meant. And I'm going to keep pushing him on Anwar, though. It's my dad who's in the audience today. Joe Sixpack, hockey moms across the nation. How long have I been at this? Like 5 weeks? One of Barack Obama's earliest supporters is Bill Ayers, a domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorist. In guys' living room?
In the name of Jesus, every form of witchcraft.
I must say, Governor Palin, I love the documentary they made on your life. You know, Hustler's nailing Palin?
Oh, good. Thank you.
It is useful to recall the conventional wisdom regarding vice presidential picks. First, do no harm. But Governor Palin, 8 weeks after her selection, seems to be continuing to do harm.
Those clothes are not my property. My favorite shop is a consignment shop in Anchorage, Alaska called Out of the Closet.
Based on multiple reports from multiple sources, Sarah Palin is a rogue GOP elephant.
I'm glad now that Elizabeth brought it up because it gives me an opportunity without the filter of the media to get to tell you the whole clothes thing.
Palin, quote, is a diva. She takes no advice from anyone. Hasselbeck.
My friends, we have come to the end of a long journey. The American people have spoken, and they have spoken clearly.
I don't think it's changed me at all. I have the same values and convictions and positions and policies. Just a greater appreciation, I think, for what other candidates go through. You know, it's pretty brutal. And it was a blast. Every day was just a blast out there on the trail.
The phrase, I think, is bullet dodged. And there is the final irony of Palin and Tina Fey and humor and satire. Tina Fey was marvelous, and the rest of us who pointed out the governor's absurdities were insightful and entertaining to various and obviously lesser degrees. But ultimately, we were all utterly unnecessary. Governor Sarah Palin was self-caricaturing. Out of office. Will she still be relevant enough even to be just funny?